right, let's go down through social. Warzone. Here we are. Maps. Buystation locations have been updated across Riousx. Gulag loadouts are refreshed. New weapons and equipment. Train's been updated a little bit. Longer timer on the break. Ranked play for the second season Warzone play. We're deploying adjustments to SR restrictions. Or two restrictions, SR gains and deployment fees. Notably the tracker perk, which now outlines enemies in line of sight without the live pings, has been removed from the list of restrictions. I'm not a huge fan of this because I think the tracker perk, no matter how you make it, just pinging players by shooting them is the silliest thing ever. I think it's the least competitive possible perk you can ever have in a game mode that's, you know, supposed to be competitive as a ranked mode. Just given the fact that, like, I don't know, in a ranked mode, I think you should have to be able to communicate with your teammates via, whether that be live pings, like you could use a live ping, which they've also changed. So you can't like live ping somebody and it tracks them anymore. Like you just ping in the area, which I think is good enough. And then you also have to utilize your comms to say, hey, I see them in this area. They're shooting from the east, west, north, whatever the fuck. I think it's just silly when you shoot somebody and it's going to like ping them out in the open, but we'll see how it plays out. I guess they're changing it up the perk a little bit. New SR adjustments aim to streamline progression, helping players quickly align with the skill-appropriate divisions while addressing barriers when bridging the gap between key ranks. Placement and elimination reward. By the way, none of this stuff matters if the cheating is not dealt with this season, but they are doing crossplay stuff, so we'll get into that in a second. Also ensuring players in top tiers like Crimson, Iridescent face greater challenges to maintain their status. In addition, deployment fees have been rebalanced to ease progression in lower ranks and increase the prestige of reaching top tiers. Full details below. Now, this is obviously the big meat and potatoes of the entire update, folks. This is the thing that people have been asking for years now, because Call of Duty has never been able to figure out an anti-cheat. Like every other AAA game out there, man, Valorant, League of Legends, Fortnite, etc. They've been able to figure out their anti-cheats. They're still cheating. You're never going to 100% get rid of it, but there's no level of cheating and bugs like there is in COD. Like they take it to a whole new meaning, a whole new level. To the point where, like, I mean, we don't even need to talk about it. We've talked about it a million times over the years. It's just the tone that it has set in the community of just everybody thinking everybody's a cheater. It's just horrific, bro. So finally, well, one, we would hope they would just release a good enough anti-cheat that you could play on whatever platform you want. But sadly, that's not the case. They can't figure it out. So now they are reverting back to crossplay. Beggars can't be choosers, though. I feel like if they don't do what they said in these patch notes and like what they said in their last announcement, which was that they're going to be locking in on the anti-cheat and they're going to be implementing this crossplay stuff to be able to turn off. If they don't lock in on the anti-cheat, then I'm going to be switching to console. If I notice tomorrow the games are just horrific, the cheating is still god awful and they haven't done anything with Ricochet, then I will be buying a PS5, because why the play on PC when you could literally just go to PS5, where yes, there are still Cronuses, yes, there are still ways for people to cheat, but the ways for them to cheat are way less, just way less than cheating on PC. So the following changes are being implemented at the launch of Season 2 to provide players on console with the option to select the platform pools they wish to matchmake with. So the way it looks like it's going to work, PlayStation and Xbox are going to have the option to either turn on enable matchmaking with all gaming platforms when playing ranked, turn on consoles only, which is just Xbox and PS5, and then off is restricts ranked matchmaking to only your console, which I think is a great option, man. And it says, may negatively impact matchmaking queues. Brother, I don't think anybody cares about having to wait a little bit longer if it means they have to deal with 99% less cheaters. I think everybody's okay with that, folks. Like they've been caring way too much about how, like, the amount of the length of queue times for too long. So yeah, this is a W. This is a W right here. It's a W. It's sad that this has to happen. It's sad that people think about that. It's sad that they can't just figure out their anti-cheat and they have to make this an option in the meantime. It's kind of like a way for them to just like put a band-aid on it for now while they figure out the anti-cheat. Well, it's not just a band-aid. I mean, this will fix things for console, but it's going to affect queue times and the overall player base, obviously, on PC. And now, by the way, this all only applies to ranked. This is not, you cannot turn off crossplay, I think, on regular pub matches. This is just for the competitive game modes. Tracker, again, has been removed from the list of things that are restricted in Warzone ranked. Some SR adjustments that, we're going to just have to see how they play out. I don't really care about reading it too much. I mean, we're just going to see how it plays out tomorrow. We can read through it a little bit here. Ranked SR adjustments are a challenging task. Everything has cascading effect, especially when modeling consequences across different types of matches and outcomes. Our approach to these adjustments aim to achieve several key objectives. One major objective is to onboard more players into the early ranks and help them progress toward divisions that better represent their skill sets more quickly. We aim to adjust the rewards for SR in a way that allows players performing above their skill division to accelerate into higher divisions and remain there, where their skill matches the other players. This should ideally lead to greater player and skill diversity in the mid and higher divisions. There's also a very clear set of plateaus or walls that players encounter in the ranges of Silver 3 through Gold 1 and Platinum 3 through Diamond 1. There are several reasons for this. I can think of one big reason that a lot of people probably can't rank up as much. And it's probably because they're running the 25 million hackers every day. Anyway, there are several reasons for this, but we aim to address the issues with a few critical ways by adjusting the team remaining rewards to smooth out the curve. We hope players on the upper borders of these skill bands will be nudged more frequently into higher divisions. This will provide them with opportunities to play with and against stronger players, helping to improve their skills rather than leaving them in a division where they feel their abilities are underrepresented. Now, again, this is something that I feel like has been talked about for quite a while now. The whole, SBMM gaming being this is 2025 where, you have algorithms that are trying to keep you on the game as long as possible and handing out, even if that means handing out participation medals. And, I'm a huge fan of, I'm fine with SBMM on pubs and stuff. And, well, I mean, obviously on pubs, I'm fine with it, but I'm not fine with it being as aggressive as it is. It's crazy that you can't just queue up pub matches and those be regular, and then ranked modes have, obviously, SBMM because it's ranked. You have divisions. You play against people closer to your skill level, etc. You know what I mean? I feel like that's how it should be. I feel like pub matches should be random across the board. Because that's what this says right here too. Like, I mean, I know this is related to ranked, but it just says like this will provide them opportunities to play against stronger players, helping them improve their skills rather than leaving them in division. Like that is a W. Like that's a W. Like you should want to play against people as good as you or even better, because then you will improve at a faster rate and you'll see your rank go up and you'll be proud of yourself. You achieve some shit. It's cool. It's fun to achieve shit. Additionally, these changes, and then obviously it's also fun to casually play video games, which is why the pub matches should just be casual. Additionally, these changes are designed to ensure that players without access to the upper bands of division deltas, bonuses for eliminations, example, players in Crimson and Iridescent cannot easily maintain their positions just because the delta rewards 1, 2, 3 have increased. These players will need to work hard to remain in their divisions, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Deployment fees. Bronze is going to be none. 5 for silver, 10, 15, 25, 30, 35, 40, 5, 50, 55, 65, 70, 75, 85, 90, 95. And iridescent and top 2D is going to be 100 SR plus 10 SR for every 500 SR above 10,000 up to a maximum of 200. So this is very similar to what it was, I think, back on the Resurgence ranked. Like, I think the maximum SR deployment fee that negative SR you would start with was negative 210 SR. That was insanity. But I think that's fine, to be honest. It should be pretty hard to obviously hold your ranks at higher levels. It shouldn't just be like a whoever plays the most, you know what I mean? The adjustments of deployment fees align with the overall goals of ranked play. We aim to make accessing certain divisions less frustrating by reducing barriers and smoothing out the progression experience. Reaching the iridescent rank will become slightly more challenging, partially offset by the SR changes from the 0 delta and teams remaining rewards due to increased deployment fees, requiring more effort from players to maintain their position in this elite rank. For reference, less than 0.1% of players achieve iridescent or crimson status. Fee reductions. You see what I'm saying, chat? Less than 0.1%. And people ask, why is there an iridescent or a crimson in my lobby? Bro, because there's not enough people in these divisions for them to even fucking play. Like, if they didn't allow the iridescents and crimsons to be in lobbies with diamonds and platinums and golds, there would be no one to play against. There'd just be no one to play against. You'd be waiting in queue times for an hour just to play a single game. Like, it doesn't make any sense. So what they do to balance that is they make it so that when I load into a game, when a top iridescent player loads in the game, they are already at a massive, massive disadvantage, and they have to dig their way out of that hole and then try to go positive just to gain a little bit of SR to go up even higher. Whereas people at a lower rank, dude, your deficit that you have to get out of is is nothing, bro. You have to get out of a very, very small deficit. Rewards, same skin as last season, nothing new. These skins, if they're not animated skins, they look like complete dog shit. Like, okay, these look cool. Calling cards look cool. The skins look like dog shit. All this stuff, challenges for this. Okay, general. Okay, this is where we left off last time. This is where we were. Buy stations. This is a big one, bro. All buy stations, including deployable and standard ones, now close at the beginning of the final circle announcement. The final circle announcement. I am going to hold my judgment on this until I play the game and see how it feels, because you guys know about, you know, tons of people love to play, and look at the deployable boxes as well. Utility boxes such as munitions, armor boxes, and others can no longer be placed in the gas. These two changes are going to make gas plays where, you go sit in the zone, you pop fucking 5 munitions boxes, you buy 2 or 3 gas masks, you pop fucking 100 stims, and you're just sitting in the gas for minutes on end. That's going to make that not doable anymore. This is no longer a strategy, which, I don't know. I like this change. I feel like obviously there's going to be a lot of people that don't like this change, but like, I feel like the whole point of the gas coming in and bringing players closer together is like, that gas should, like, it should do some damage, and it shouldn't kill you instantly. Like, you should be able to, like, let's say you're stuck in the zone, you got to get to zone, you should be able to pop a couple stims, but they'll have to be the ones that you have on you and the gas mask that you have on you, and then you get into the zone. But you can't just like go out and sit on a buy station and pop 100 stims and buy a bunch of gas masks. You know what I mean? I think that's a little bit corny, but again, I want to know what you guys think about that, and if and I'm open to having my mind completely changed. Maybe this goes live tomorrow and we play it and we see how it is and it feels like complete shit, but we'll see. Let's see why they changed it. We've noticed an increase in buybacks during the final circle, sometimes even after the gas has completely consumed the map. While we appreciate resourceful plays, so they're talking about what I was just talking about, these gas plays that a lot of people do. I know Lucky loves to do these gas plays on Rebirth. I've done them a few times. They're really, really like satisfying, cool gas plays. People really fuck with them too. Like, they get a lot of views on shorts and shit when people pull them off, because they they're pretty cool, especially if you're like solo quadding or some shit. But I'm cool with that being out. Anyway, while we appreciate resourceful plays, the tactic of a team camping a buy station to secure a win doesn't align with our vision for last team standing wins. I fully agree with that. I fully agree with that. Because like, I feel like this used to not be a thing back in Verdansk. Like, this just wasn't a thing. And you don't see this in like any other BR. I feel like you don't see people using that as a strategy. Like, let's just make a bunch of money all early game, hide from everybody, go sit on a buy station, edge of the end zone, and just or use a portable buy edge zone and just sit on it in the end game and camp it. It just makes it kind of corny in my opinion. To address this, we're making changes to encourage more meaningful and intense engagements in the final moments, the way we believe most matches are meant to end. We remain committed to identifying and addressing other cheese strategies in the game, regardless of how long a mechanic has been around. We're dedicated to refining systems to enhance the game's competitive integrity. Wow, that line right there is that's an ironic line for Call of Duty to say out loud, but who knows? Maybe this next update will be the step in the right direction. We're going to find out tomorrow. Score events. Added a new Splat score event in the Battle Royale, which triggers when a player is eliminated while parachuting or skydiving. Experience balance. Battle Royale, they're increasing player XP, weapon XP, Resurgence, Splendor, all that stuff is going up. Quality of life highlights. Advanced UAVs now display elevation arrows to indicate player's altitude. I think this is a W. This is cool. If you guys don't know what that is, like, when you pop a regular UAV, sometimes it's like kind of a disadvantage to pop a advanced. It's usually not ever a disadvantage, but still, like, when you pop a regular UAV, it'll show a circle on the map and then it'll put an arrow either above or below, or if there's no arrow, that means they're on the same level as you. So you can always know if they're on high ground, low ground, or on your level. Advanced UAVs are going to now have the same indicator. That's kind of cool. Warzone brackets. The button layout in the Warzone brackets has been reorganized to match the structure using the multiplayer zombies, ammo caches, now function like munitions boxes, ammo and equipment on the ground. Okay. Pinging buyback flares. Players can now ping the flares from the buyback to better alert their teammates. That means like when someone gets bought back, the flare that's in the sky, you can just ping the flare itself. That's kind of cool. Match stat tracker. The font used in the match stat tracker has been adjusted to improve readability, especially at lower resolutions. Detailed weapon stats. New stats have been added and the layout has been redesigned to prioritize data clarity and accessibility. Let's see. Fade distance. The fade distance for loadout and cash drop crates while parachuting has been reduced to 300 meters for improved visibility. Combat. Okay. Body shields. Victims are no longer automatically released midair. The outline of the victim previously visible through walls has been disabled. Players can no longer release a victim without executing them first. Wait, what? You can't release a victim without executing them first. So you have to do an execution like I did the other day, and then it releases them instead of killing them. What? It's just kind of random, I guess. The body shield was incorrectly releasing your victim when attempting to take someone with you to a plummeting death, resulting in your own death, but not your victims. Additionally, we're removing the griefing mechanic of repeatedly releasing, downing, and releasing the same target. Going forward, if you choose to body shield a player, it must now culminate in an execution. Jumping. Increased both jump speed and successive jump height with one unmodified successive jump. So we're reverting some jump penalties to the values used last year. This marks the first step in our jump evaluation, and we'll revisit this topic again in the future. All right, I think that's a W. I feel like faster, more fluid movement is always a W. It's never a bad thing. Parachute. That doesn't mean like necessarily speed. I just mean like very fluid. I guess this is jump speed, but still just very fluid. Like movement is never a bad thing. Parachute. Increase the speed of the parachute cut animation. Okay, I think that's a W. Making cutting a parachute and readying your weapon significantly faster. It's a W. We'll have to see how fast it actually is. Increase player velocity when landing from a cut parachute land for smoother transition into full sprinting. The recovery time after landing from a parachute has often felt overly punishing for both for the players trying to evade and those looking to engage. This adjustment aims to make the action more fluid and balanced, preventing it from feeling overly restrictive. I'm cool with all that. I think it's a W. Perks. New perks are in the game, chat. New reactive armor perk slot 2. Your armor will... this is called what? Reactive armor. Your armor will regenerate up to 50% if you have not taken damage in the last 5 seconds. I don't know how that's going to really play out. I feel like this could potentially be a useful perk in like competitive or ranked play, because, and the reason I could see it being useful is the only place I could kind of see it being useful is in conserving plates, like not needing to carry an armor box around, because you can just like use half the amount of plates. So like this will, I'm assuming, let's say you have tempered, 5 seconds goes by, it puts a plate in, it regenerates a plate in for you just like it would regenerate your health, and then you have to put that other plate in, the last plate, just one plate. So I think that's cool, but I don't know how many people are really going to use that over perks like Tracker, which they are putting back into ranked, but they're just updating it a little bit. That's probably going to be the go-to. Perks like Quartermaster is also really, really good for regenerating your nades and stuff. So I don't know. I could see it maybe being good, but we'll obviously, like I said, have to see how it plays out. Adjustments, Tracker. Here we go. This is what we were just talking about. I don't like this at all. I already don't like this change. I think Tracker does. I think it's fine in pubs. I think all of these things, almost anything is fine in pubs. One-shot snipers, you know, all these types of things that made Warzone really, really fun back in Verdansk. I think they should all be the way it was. But if we're talking about ranked, bro, they're bringing Tracker back to ranked, and I think Tracker's just not a competitive. It's just not a competitive perk, bro. I think it just like does the work for you. It's like, oh, here, you shoot somebody and then boom, it just like pings exactly where they are. Pings have been replaced with an outline that is not visible through walls, but still will appear on targets through smoke, bro. Yeah, like, I don't know. Not a big fan of it, but Tracker can now mark up to 5 targets simultaneously. Engaging a 6th target will remove the outline from the first target. Tracker, spy camera, and proxy alarm have been adjusted to balance their usage. These changes address the over-reliance on Intel systems that provide vision through walls. By scaling this back, we aim to align these mechanics with systems like UAVs while offering additional visual feedback. Our goal is to make highlight interactions more consistent, grounded, and balanced across engagements. Okay. Dexterity. The weapon handling component of dexterity has been enhanced. Okay. So now it's going to probably be an actual viable perk, and is now a default perk for all Warzone players. Yeah, I heard about this. So yeah, it's actually, you're not going to need to put this perk on anymore. This is just going to be default on your character. This will result in smoother weapon handling for jumping, sliding, diving as a default change to all players. This is a W, because if you guys jump in Warzone right now and try to take a battle in Warzone, a gunfight right now and in Warzone, I've been playing Warzone for 5 years now, and we're coming up on 5 years, and when you like jump shotting has been like a core, mechanic of the game. But ever since Black Ops 6, they've nerfed it to the ground where like if you jump and you shoot, the penalty is so insanely bad that you miss so many shots. They will just go in all different directions. I think it's so stupid because like after building so much muscle memory over year after year after year, having to like unlearn that has been just so annoying. Sometimes I'll just do it out of muscle memory. I'm glad they're reverting this. I'm not sure how much it's going to be reverted or like how smooth it's going to be, but hopefully it's significantly smoother because I think you should be able to slide. I think you should be able to dive shoot. I think you should be able to jump shoot. Like I think you should be able to do all these things. I just think the fluidity of the game should just be, it's an arcade shooter. We're not playing Tarkov. We're not playing, Battlefield. Like these games are really realistic games that should stay realistic. Like that's kind of the lane they're in, but COD's always been an arcade shooter, bro. Like there's always been, you've always had to stretch the imagination playing COD just a little bit, which is fine if it means the gameplay is God tier. You know what I mean? If the game is fun, I'm cool with stretching the imagination a little bit. I'm cool with my soldier being able to pull out a parachute fucking 100 times. I'm down to jump off a building, and every time I jump off, I have a fresh new parachute. Even though that's not a realistic thing, it makes the game cooler and feel better and play better. So like, I'm cool with these types of things. So yeah, this perk returns to slot 1. This is Mountaineer. Sorry, Mountaineer's coming back, which is a W. I think this will now probably be the #1 perk used in that slot. Maybe it won't. Maybe it'll still be Survivor, because Survivor is a really, really good perk, but we'll see what happens. This perk returns to slot 1, replacing Dexterity. Fall damage reduction has been significantly improved compared to the current version of Dexterity, though it's not as powerful as its iteration in Modern Warfare 3. So it's not going to be nearly as broken as it was in MW3, but I'm cool with it coming back. I definitely should be coming back. Veteran now provides significant damage reductions against the effects of gas grenades. Okay. Equipment. Munition satchels now only provide 1 additional item down from 2 to address overstocking and spamming equipment. W. I think it's a W. I think 4 grenades, 4 smokes, 4 gases is the stupidest shit. 4 bouncing betties. Like 3 is already insane. Like 3 is still pretty crazy, but it is what it is. Whatever, I'll take it. It's a good nerf. Tacticals and lethals. Maximum deployable tacticals and lethals reduced to 2 each, down from 3, to make more purposeful trap plays. Impact grenade. Default stack size increased from 2 to 3. When equipped with munition satchel, the stack size increases to 4. Why? I feel like impact grenades are like the meta right now. They're super broken. Everybody uses them. So you're just buffing them? Okay. Impact grenades occupy a unique niche between Semtex and frag grenades. A direct hit significantly boosts its damage while also bypassing some of the mitigation provided by Bomb Squad, making it a more skill-based option. They're very skill-based. We've made the choice to retain its max stack size at 4 due to it underperforming quite significantly in metrics previously. Perhaps this makes it more impactful. Buddy, okay, that's the corniest shit I've ever seen. It's already extremely impactful, and yeah, maybe the metrics are lower to frag grenades and Semtexes, but that's probably just because Semtexes and frag grenades and bouncing betties and all these things are Call of Duty staples that most people are used to and comfortable with and have been using forever. Impact grenades are still that doesn't mean impact grenades are not impactful and already really, really strong. I think they were good where they were. I don't think they needed a buff, but I guess they fucking thought they did. Just because people weren't using them as much, I guess. I don't know. They want people to use them more. Thermobaric, inner radius increased from 25 to 50. Inner damage increased from 190 to 220. Outer damage increased from 48 to 55. Okay. I just don't really fuck with a lot of these kind of grenades and stuff. I feel like they're pretty corny, and buffing them is just whatever, but we'll see how they play. I won't complain about it until we see and actually, play with it. We'll see how it plays. Frag grenade, inner damage decreased from 250 to 240. So they're nerfing frags and they're nerfing Semtex, or they're nerfing frags and they're buffing these. Okay. Inner damage decreased from 250 down to 240. Middle damage decreased from 170 to 120. Outer damage increased from 48 to 55. Frag grenades are just a staple in combat, known for their reliability. Following adjustments in Black Ops 6, they become easier to use. These changes aim to align their damage output with their ease of use, and we will continue to monitor their effectiveness. Experimental gas grenades slightly increased the trigger height of the gas effects to better match visuals. Movement reduction from gas decreased without resistance from 60% to 50%, with resistance from 60% to 25%. That's pretty big. Gas damage against resistant targets reduced from 8 to 5. Yeah, gas grenade usage has increased. Yes, it has. And these changes ensure proper counters are in place. A veteran perk remains the best option to counter negative equipment effects. These adjustments aim to balance the grenade's effectiveness while keeping counters viable. Stim shots, strafe slide velocity with stim slightly reduced. So they're nerfing stims yet again when I feel like stims are like not even broken at all. Like the combination of stim and omnidirectional slides exceed normal velocity thresholds. This adjustment brings it back to the line with regular gameplay metrics. Not really certain why they need to do that because I feel like stims aren't really broken, but okay. Spy camera updated the outline visual to no longer display through walls. Effect duration increased 7 seconds to 10 seconds. Proxy alarm. I don't know anybody that really uses any of these. I feel like I don't really care. Kill streaks. We already read this. Advanced UAVs will now display elevation arrows to indicate players' altitude. Bunker buster. Gas damage against targets with gas resistance has been reduced from 8 to 5. Field upgrades, loadout drop marker. The bounce factor from loadout drop markers has been reduced by 50%. Holy, finally. It's not uncommon to see loadout markers bouncing far from their intended drop location. By having the bounce factor, which was previously comparable to that of a smoke grenade, we aim to maintain the grenade-like behavior while minimizing the frustration, unintended movement. Continue to monitor player to feedback and adjustment. Portable decontamination station. Little PDS. The ability to re-enable closed buy stations by dropping a PDS nearby now works as intended. However, to align the previously outlined buy station changes, this is not possible during the final circle of a match. Okay. I'm fine with that. Weapons. Okay, now chat. These are some big changes right here. We're about to figure out how big they are tomorrow when we actually play the game. Let's take a look. Reload speeds. Reload speeds have been improved across all weapons with increases ranging from 5% to 20% depending on the weapon class. No one cares about Modern Warfare 3, Modern Warfare 2 weapons. Like, just can get them out of the game. No one wants to use these anymore. I feel like, would you guys prefer all these guns to just not be in the game? Like, I'd prefer to just start fresh. Let's just have a clean slate. Because let me tell you why I think it's just unnecessary. One, nobody uses any of these guns anymore. And even if you do use a few of them, you have to realize the negative impact that it has. Every year they're adding new guns. It makes it harder and harder and harder. The more guns you have, the harder it is to balance said weapons. And the more we're going to have metas that last months on end. You're going to have guns that are super broken and super shit. Like, let's just tone this down a little bit. No, I don't think we need like all of these guns, but it is what it is. Anyway, reload speeds have been improved across all weapons. This is a W, with increases ranging from 5 to 20% depending on the weapon class. I think that's a W. Black Ops 6. Assault rifles, ARs are 5% faster. Marksman rifles are 5% faster. Light machine guns are 10%. Submachine guns are 10%. Sniper rifles are 10%. Handguns 5%. Reload speeds for flip and fast mag attachments have increased by an additional 5%. Bullet penetration. Adjusted bullet penetration across most material, resulting in a more consistent experience for thicker walls in particular. Weapon swap. Increased swap speed by 10%. Again, beautiful. Effectively replicating the effect of quick grip gloves perk from Modern Warfare. I think this is a W. Nothing wrong with, again, more fluid, more speed. I think just snappier gameplay is always great. Sprint to instead of like a clunky experience in an arcade shooter. Sprint to fire. Reduce sprint to fire penalty when jumping from 35% to 10%. Again, I think this is a W. Aim down sight. Reduce the aim down sight jump speed penalty by 25%. That is, again, a big W as well. We want to allow different play styles and different movement mechanics to feel viable and smooth to perform. We will continue to monitor how these blah, blah, blah. New weapons, PPSH 41, new submachine gun coming to the game. PPSH is one of the most goated guns in COD history, folks. this gun just makes me think of this gun just makes me think of World at War Zombies, man. If you played World at War Zombies back in the day, you had a W childhood, or, you know, if you were an adult at the time, you had a W. Fuck, that was a W era of gaming. This gun just always reminds me of that, man. I'm excited to try it out. We'll see how it is. We obviously know what the PPSH is all about. It's full auto sub, fast fire rate, high recoil, moderate handling. The Cypher 091 assault rifle. This gun looks kind of cool. Full auto assault rifle, slower rate of fire, balanced by great handling and excellent mobility. Okay, that could be cool. The Feng 82 light machine gun, full auto light machine gun, very slow rate of fire with great damage and handling. The TR2 marksman rifle, semi-auto marksman rifle, great rate of fire and respectable handling. All right. Weapon adjustments. Here we go, folks. Damage range, maximum damage range. Pre-patch 36, post-patch is still 36. Medium damage range 33, still 33. Range is up a little bit. Minimum damage still 28. Range is up a little bit. The additional adjustments aimed at sight speed improved. Sprint to fire time improved. Lower torso multiplier increased. Leg multiplier. This is Amy's. Leg multiplier increased. Headshot multiplier increased. Not really massive values here, but still, I mean, little buffs. Default magazine reload speed is 5% faster on the Val. This gun's dog shit. The Goblin MK2 damage adjustments. Damage range. Maximum damage range is the same. This range is the same. Medium damage range has been improved, and minimum damage range has been, the range has been improved, not the damage. The GPR. So they're nerfing this gun. So we can't just like go right back to it. That's a W. Damage range, maximum damage range, 32. Range is down to 36.8 meters. Medium damage range. Damage is still the same. The damage on all these are still the same, but the ranges have been dropped a decent amount for all these. So we'll see how that ends up playing out. Because I'm assuming this gun, yep, is going to be heavily nerfed, and that is going to result in people going back to this, which was what we used before. But I'm glad they're nerfing this as well, because I don't want to just like go from one meta back to the first meta. Like, let's get a new gun in the rotation, please. Holy shit. Aimed outside speed slowed. Sprint to fire time slowed, and leg multipliers decreased. This is all for the GPR. The Model L damage adjustments, 36, same. Range is up a little bit. Minimum damage range is still the same damage. Range is up a little bit. Leg multipliers also increased slightly. XM4 damage adjustments. We got the same maximum damage range, the same medium damage range, but the range is slightly decreased. The minimum damage range is actually down on this to 22 from 24, and the range is also the range is also down to 48.2. Additional adjustments. Leg multipliers decreased from 1 to 0.88. X. Attachment adjustments. 100 round magazine. Aimed at high speeds, penalty increased from 50% to 30%. That's a W. But for stock, horizontal recoil control bonus decreased from 60% to 45%. Vertical recoil control bonus decreased from 30% down to 18%. And gun kick bonus decreased from 32 down to 20%. Man, this buffer stock was broken, bro. This shit was broken. And yeah, this just makes sense. The ease of the use of the XM4 is has allowed it to dominate at all ranges. We wanted to adjust the optimal range to introduce more trade-offs when choosing the 100-round mag. Lastly, we acknowledged how powerful the buffer stock was in Season 1. These adjustments, we aim to make it less of a crutch pick. SMGs. The C9 is getting a buff. The maximum damage range is the same, but the range goes up a little bit. The medium damage range goes up 1 point. The range goes up as well a little bit. Medium damage range stays the same. The damage stays the same on the minimum as well, but the medium damage range goes up a little bit again. The Jackal is getting a nerf. The compact aim outside speed improved, and the sprint to fire is improved, but nothing else. KSV, okay. We may be getting a KSV meta, bro. Maybe getting a KSV SMG meta, because this gun is already really good. It already is almost as good as the Jackal. Like, you could use this and find just as much success right now in the current build of the game. So when this gets a nerf and this gets a buff, like if this wasn't getting a nerf and this was getting a buff, the Jackal would still probably be as good or better. But because this is getting a nerf and this is getting a buff, it's going to make that disparity a lot bigger. The maximum damage range is the same. The medium is the same. The medium is the same. Minimum is the same. But medium damage range is not really that much different. Not really that much different, but it is different. It's up a little bit. The ADS speed improved. The sprint to fire is improved, and the bullet velocity is improved. It's actually 550 now, and the Jackal is 500. So, yeah, I can see the KSV actually dominating. The PP is getting nerfed. So, yeah, I think the KSV is probably going to be the meta. We're probably going to be using this a bunch tomorrow. Pistol adjustments. We're getting some buffs on maximum damage range, medium damage range, and minimum damage range. Or minimum range, I should say. Damage charts are staying the same. Again, not massive changes in these values, but fuck it. And that's only for the 9mm. Wait, this thing is poo-poo anyway, right? Lootable perks. The available perks from ground loot have been updated to include Shrouded, Irradiated, Veteran, Reflexes, Sprinter, and Tempered. Lootable weapons. All ground loot weapons builds have been refreshed for the new season. Semi-auto rifles, birthright rifles, and common through epic handguns have been removed. W, get those off the ground. Give us, when you land, you should be able to find at least a decent sub, a decent AR, a decent LMG, or a decent sniper. You should not have to loot a crate and ever get a handgun that's just completely dog shit, a burst rifle. Like, I think this is a great change. The semi-auto rifles in this game are so bad too that it's just like, just don't even put them on the ground. If you want to use them, you can just like build a class, but who would ever build a class with these terrible weapons? New Season 2 weapons have been added to the ground loot pool. All right. Contracts, intels has a very low chance to give you a durable gas mask. Wait, we haven't seen durable gas masks in the game in a minute, huh? Okay, nothing really big there with Scavenger. Public events, Runaway Train. This event now has a 10% chance to occur in the 5th Circle of Battle Royale. Challenges, Warzone Tactician, Deadeye. I don't know what these are. I don't really care. Vehicles, damage adjustments. C4 and IED damage have been slightly adjusted to ensure greater consistency when destroying vehicles. Nobody really uses vehicles anymore like they did back in the day of Verdansk, which is sad. It'd be cool to see that kind of make a return. I know that was in Jack Fragg's video. He was talking about that a lot in his last video, and I fully agree. I kind of miss the days when you threw a trophy system on the top hood of your vehicle and you drove around the map and with your whole squad instead of just throwing down a portable balloon and flying everywhere. But audio, third-party reverb, reducing reverb effects to improve directionality of movement audio produced by other players, footsteps, ascenders, parachutes. W only, well, obviously I say W now. Let's not speak too soon until we actually hear what this sounds like in the game, because we've had how many times have they said improvements to audio, improvements to audio, improvements to audio via this way in so many different updates, and it literally sounds exactly the same. Like, we'll have to see. We'll have to see about that. Parachute. Adjusted parachute audio being louder than intended at further distances. This is a W as well. It's been so loud for so long. Like, you can never actually like land in the area without people just like knowing. I think you should. The thing is I think knowing that somebody is in the AO is a good thing. Like when it says enemy landing in the AO or these types of things are fine. But like, if you guys play this game at all, the parachute audio noises are way louder than they're definitely intended to be. Same thing with zip lines and shit too, bro. Like the ascenders, that's what it's saying right here. These are way too loud. Way too loud. Self-revive. Players will now hear the enemy self-revive sound. There we go. That's good. Bug fixes. This is comedy, bro. Look how many bug fixes are in this patch. This is how broken this game has been, and they've left it in this state for so long. Look how many things they have to fix in this one update. And there's still probably so many things they have to fix. This is just one update. I think someone counted this. It's a total of 61 bug fixes, chat. Holy shit, bro. I think this is a world record for most bugs in any AAA game. Like, this is criminal that this has even gone on this long. Fixed an issue where the ghost perk would persist from the pre-match lobby in the match. Boom, that's out of there. Perfect. Fixed an issue where cold-blooded did not properly counter tracker. Fixed an issue where quick fix health regenerated did not activate correctly while plating. Good. The perk literally hasn't worked since the game came out. Neither has cold-blooded. Fix an issue preventing quick fix health regeneration from functioning when eliminating an enemy and with the combat axe or a throwing knife. Fix an issue where the survivor perk prevented players from reviving down squad members. W. Fix an issue where weapons became inaccessible near interactable areas. Yes. Fix an issue causing weapons to fall through buy stations. Fix an issue where the experimental gas gameplay effects lingered longer than the visual effects. Fixed an issue preventing the self-ping icon. Holy shit, man, there's so many of these. Fix an issue where wins were calculated incorrectly in the In Resurgence or BR Finish Top 10 Challenge. Let me catch my fucking breath, bro. Oh my God. As I said before, I don't think I've ever seen a game. Like, listen, beggars can't be choosers. I mean, I'm glad they're actually, you know, fixing all of these issues, but like, I mean, these have been in the game since the beginning. Like, imagine they just fixed bugs as they happened instead of letting them last for months and months on end and then finally fixing them all at once. It's like, how many more things are on this list that are not on this list that are still going to be in the game that are probably going to go months and months without being fixed instead of just consistently fixing bugs as they occur in the game, like every other AAA game does. I don't think I've ever seen a list this long for bugs in a AAA franchise. And that is the entirety of the patch notes, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't see a single thing about anti-cheat, Ricochet anti-cheat finally doing its job. So, oh, wait a minute. I'm an idiot. Right here, global, Ricochet anti-cheat. As previously discussed in our recent community update blog, we are ramping up our fight against cheaters across both multiplayer and Warzone with new security measures deploying throughout the coming seasons. I hate that, bro. Throughout the coming seasons, like, why not just fucking get on top of that shit now? It's literally the #1 thing killing your game, and it has, like, always been a fucking back burner priority for these guys. Updates include enhanced detection models for behaviors like aimbotting, stricter account trust, and hardware identification to target repeat offenders, and new tools to combat dishonest behavior such as playing with cheaters or attempting to spam report innocent players. We're also focusing on more precise tools, including the major upgrades to the kernel-level anti-cheat driver and server-side systems starting this season and continuing into Season 3. These measures, combined with ongoing improvements and legal actions against cheat sellers, aim to deliver a more secure and enjoyable experience for everybody. For information on Ricochet anti-cheat, check out our recent community notes update. So, we'll see if they actually end up doing shit with this, bro. I mean, well, we will see. We will see. All we know and all we have known for the last 5 years, almost 5 years, going on 5 years, is that again, out of all of the major franchises in the video gaming space, you know, Valorant, Fortnite, Apex, etc., every game online will always deal with server issues, bugs, and cheaters. It will always be a thing. It will always be a thing. Okay? But Call of Duty is way up here in a whole nother league of its own. And then you've got Valorant, you've got like Fortnite, Valorant, Apex here. Apex might be a little bit higher here. I know Apex has some cheating issues that are pretty bad too, but Warzone is on a level that is unfucking believable. It's been that way for years, and they have never been able to figure it out. And when I say figure it out, I think that means probably just invest the sum of money out of all the billions and billions of dollars they make, just investing more of that money into actually making solid servers and a solid anti-cheat. Because, like I said before, you'll never be able to fix the issue 100%, but you can definitely get it to the standard that most 2025 games are at. And that standard at least makes you feel like, it doesn't make you feel, it lets you know and feel confident about playing against regular non-cheater players all day, every day. And then every blue moon, you may run into a cheater. And guess what? Games like Valorant, they have things that happen that if you do run into a cheater, they have systems in place where, let's say you run into a cheater in Valorant and they get caught as a cheater because their anti-cheat's so much better, you will get reimbursed in the ranked modes. You will get reimbursed for your SR losses, for your ladder point losses. which is just, again, it's a beautiful thing. Like these types of systems and things that like all these other games have, cheating and bugs are like, name a better duo than Call of Duty and cheating and Call of Duty and bugs, bro. There's no, like, Warzone and multiplayer come like together. There's no better duo, bro. There's just no better duo. Every other game is on a whole nother level when it comes to that shit. But look what they do lock in on, though. Look at these fucking skins. Look how good they look. I won't be buying a single one. I'm not buying the battle pass. I also highly recommend that nobody buys any skins, any battle pass, anything at all, until we see real change. You know what I'm saying? Like if they eventually get to the game where like, okay, we're really starting to see genuine change. Like if this update comes out and all the things they have in here really does come to fruition, that still is only like, that's only a drop in the bucket. Like we need to continue. We need the Ricochet anti-cheat working. We need to see consistency. We need to see this list down here. We need to see this list way down here of bug issues. Where is it? It was the fucking biggest list I've ever seen out of any game I've ever played with bug issues. This list of a fucking million bugs and issues. It's insane how many there were. We need to get to a point where when a bug happens, so this bug right here, fix an issue where ghost perk would persist from the pre-match lobby in the match. We've known that this has been a thing since the game came out. This should have been fixed 3 months ago, 2 months ago when the game came out. Like, bro, this is the type of stuff I'm talking about. Until they get to a point where they're actually like on top of their stuff. Because I know when there's bugs in other games, they get dealt with usually in a very timely manner, in a timely fashion. Okay? Well, actually, let's be real here. Call of Duty also fixes one bug in particular in a very fast fashion, chat. And can you guess what that bug is, ladies and gentlemen? Can anyone in the chat give me the $1 million answer? The Call of Duty store. The COD store, bro. If there is ever an issue with you being able to spend money on this game, you better believe that shit's going to get fixed in a heartbeat, bro. That's why I highly advise that until they start actually giving a fuck about their game, nobody buys a battle pass. Nobody buys shit in the store. W.